So what does this mean for the Octomom and most importantly for her 14 kids? Joining me tonight from Hollywood, Leslie Marshall, host of The Leslie Marshall Show. In Chicago tonight is attorney Tamara Holder. And Tamara, I want to begin with you. I don't get it, quite frankly. Is the Octomom just out of her mind for firing a team of free trained nurses?
No, I don't think she's out of her mind. I mean, she has other nurses. She has nurses from Kaiser. It's not like Angels in Waiting is the only opportunity for help. And I think that that's what we really need to understand here. The other thing, AJ, is that if there's such a major problem, DCFS should come in and should evaluate the situation. They haven't done that yet. There's been no court order. And so we need to step back and find out if this is really okay. Is this enough help for her?
Well, it'll be interesting to see, because I don't think there's any level of help that would compare to the help being offered by Angels in Waiting that was valued at some $185,000 a month. But today we did get a glimpse into why the Octomom dumped Angels in Waiting. Listen to what she told Us Magazine. She said, quote, "Yes, it's true. I released AIW, Angels in Waiting. It was really bad. That's all I can say. I can't confirm why in particular. I will be releasing the details soon." Leslie, how do you think the Octomom is possibly going to cope without the round-the-clock support that they were offering, which, as I said, was above and beyond anything she could expect from anywhere else?
And also, as you said, AJ, free. And as she said, stay tuned. It'll be on my blog later. But anyway, now that she wants the attention, right? This is ridiculous. I disagree with Tamara. Kaiser is not going to keep their nurses there. They can't. I mean, they're a health maintenance organization that has hundreds of thousands of people to care for throughout the United States. These nurses can show her what to do, and perhaps even assist with showing the nannies what to do.
Which is exactly what they said they were going to be doing.
Right, you have to hire somebody before you kick somebody out. That's what's in the best interest of the children. Tell me, AJ, think about this. Even if you don't have children, how do you change 8 sets of diapers, hold 8 sets of crying babies, give bottles to 8 children simultaneously? It is physically impossible. She needs the help and should have kept them before she released them.
Yeah. The Octomom spokesperson today said that part of the problem with Angels in Waiting is that the Octomom has always had this tense relationship with them. And this is what the spokesperson, who's also her lawyer, is saying, quote, "It started out adversarial and never really resolved itself. Nadia felt that she was being judged wrongfully and she didn't need it. All it did was make a difficult situation worse." Now, to your point, Tamara, Octomom also says that she believes Angels in Waiting was spying on her to build a complaint against her with child services. Does that to you sound far-fetched?
Well, I think spying is a little bit far-fetched, but I mean, you have to understand that Gloria Allred, who is a fabulous attorney and I look up to, she did file a complaint with DCFS. And not only that, but, you know, there's the mission statement of Angels in Waiting is to take children out and put them into foster care. I'm not saying that's what they wanted to do here, but I would be a little freaked out, too, if there was a complaint filed against me and the people who are out there to help me want foster care as part of their mission statement. So we really need to understand the psychological needs of the mother and what is the best situation. And it's not for Gloria Allred to decide, or Dr. Phil, or anybody else, but the courts. The courts need to decide the best interests of the child.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens as we move forward, because everybody's now wondering, what does this mean for those 4 newborn babies who are still in the hospital? Leslie, do you think the hospital is going to look at the situation now and perhaps be less likely to release those kids?
Only if there is a valid complaint, and perhaps more than one, by Gloria Allred. I do agree with Tamara that the state has to investigate any complaints, especially when you have 4 infants who have been in neonatal ICU waiting to come home. But the hospital will not stop the release of their children if they're healthy and able to go home with the parents. Remember, the state does always look at keeping children with their parents whenever possible.
And we will be watching with laser focus. Leslie Marshall, Tamara Holder, I do appreciate you both being here. Now, you definitely don't want to miss. Joining me tonight from Hollywood is Leslie Marshall, radio talk show host of The Leslie Marshall Show. Also tonight from Chicago, attorney Tamara Holder. So Dr. Phil gave Nadia Suleiman the world, right? I mean, a free home makeover, a free designer nursery, free child care for all 14 of her kids. And now she turns around, fires the volunteer nurses. Leslie, my head's going to explode. Was Dr. Phil punked? into helping the Octomom?
Well, if Ashton Kutcher was around, then definitely yes. But no, what happened to Dr. Phil is what happened to a lot of us in America. We just give and give and give to this woman, even just our attention. She takes and takes and takes, and then it turns around as totally irresponsible and selfish. This is not in the best interest of the children, obviously. This is her being selfish because she's concerned about people spying at her. This is her being paranoid. Those kids should have properly trained nurses taking care of them, especially coming out of neonatal intensive care units.
No kidding. And it seemed like we were onto a good thing. It looked like we turned a corner. It seemed like she was appreciative. In fact, watch how Octomom reacted when Dr. Phil gave her all that free stuff on the Dr. Phil show. Let's roll that.
I was thinking of the most minimal thing happening, like just the cribs being empty in living room, and then I was going to go shop for mobiles. You know, like I was going to get the mobiles. I was thinking in my head differently, you know, okay, we'll take care of this area, new carpet.
Yeah.
That's like the most modest.
Well, we have other plans.
Well, apparently Octomom had other plans too. Octomom is reportedly hoping to get back on the Dr. Phil show so she can defend herself about the firing. But Tamara, should Dr. Phil move on and just cut the woman loose already?
No, I think Dr. Phil should do what he does best, and that's psychology, not giving carpet to the house and, you know, cribs and baby milk or whatever it is. I mean, you have to understand something. She's not taking and taking and taking. She has refused the help of Angels in Waiting. She hasn't taken anything from Dr. Phil or anybody else. I mean, everybody's jumping to conclusions and judging this woman, and she doesn't even have all the babies
you know,
home
Dr.
yet.
Phil did put this thing together. She wasn't going to take it. She admitted on his show that this was the right thing to do, to put the needs of the children first.
Correct, but if you go to the mission statement of Angels in Waiting, their whole goal is to take babies who are in situations that aren't probably conducive to their environment and move them into foster home. I mean, she freaked out. You would be freaked out too if you found out that the people who were coming into your home were taking your baby.
In this case, that is not how it was set up to be. And of course, all of this is happening just days after one of Suleiman's nannies called 911 on Gloria Allred. Of course, Gloria is the attorney who helped introduce the volunteer nurses to Suleiman in the first place. And Showbiz Tonight obtained that 911 call. You got to listen to a bit of it. Roll that.
Yes, I'd like to have somebody removed from the home that I'm at right now. Who is it? Gloria Allred.
You've asked her to leave and she's refusing?
Yes, they've asked her to leave already.
Who has asked her? Is Nadia there?
No, she's not here yet, but she's getting ready to come home, and she just doesn't want her in her house when she gets here.
So the Octomom reportedly fired the volunteer nurses, claiming that they were spying on her and getting ready to report her to Child Protective Services. Leslie, doesn't this just show the kind of chaos that's going on in that house?
Yes, and I just want to say she has taken things. How do you think she bought the house? She took money. I mean, yes, there's chaos. How come she's not home and wasting 911 emergency resources because she wants somebody who's an attorney who I know and is a wonderful person who cares about children and has been a single mom herself out of her home, somebody who with Dr. Phil was putting together a deal to help those children. I am the mother of 2 children under 2. I'm a working mom. I have help. You need help with 14. You need help that are professionally trained. This is absolutely ridiculous. The amount of chaos is terrible because to have any mom knows the key to being a great mom with multiple children is organization, and there's no organization.
Yeah, let's keep in mind this was all happening with only 4 of the octuplets home in the house. Correct. 4 more still on the way. Leslie Marshall, Tamara Holder, I thank you both for being here.